Sports fans, there's the benchmark at the top of Mount of the Holy Cross, 14,005, count 5 feet. Today is the last day of winter of 2011, and it feels like winter up here. It seemed like it was spring until about 11 o'clock in the morning, when we were about 13,000 feet climbing up the North Ridge. And then winter blew back in. This old man really wanted to say it's not over yet, boys. So we came up here to ski the Cross Couloir, and there it is. And here goes Brian. He's our designated guinea pig for today. Stomping and checking out the snow, make sure it's stable. We've had about a week of spring weather. We figured that should have consolidated things fairly nicely. But there's been some wind loading and some blown-in snow. There was a snowstorm a couple of days ago. So we want to tiptoe a little bit. The first few turns at the top here are going to be somewhat tentative. There's Brian stomping it out and checking out the snow. And there's Ben getting ready to go. And Brian making the first couple of tentative turns now that he's made his ski cuts. Ben making sure that he didn't forget and bring his Talonite skis instead of his AT gear. And there he goes, also checking things out for himself. Stomping and poking at the snow until he feels confident enough to make the first couple of tentative turns. Shortly thereafter, he disappears into a snow devil of his own making. It's pretty windy up here. A lot of blowing snow. And now it's my turn to go. Same kind of thing. I'm going to tiptoe a little bit at first. Poke at the snow, stomp at it. The upper part of this couloir is approximately 45 degrees. A couple spots might be a little bit steeper. Not a whole lot. So the snow feels pretty good. It's not really slabby. It's bonded well to the layers underneath it. There is a little bit of wind pack, so there might be some tricky spots. There's going to be a few crusty places. It's not going to be a perfect powder run, but it is really nice out here. And the run is just spectacular. I got really excited in anticipation of this yesterday while I was skiing at Beaver Creek, hiking up above tree line to check out the snow, looking at north aspects, east aspects, feeling for how well things had bonded together, and was pretty pleased with what the spring weather had done to our dicey Colorado winter snowpack. So here we go, making few tentative turns and then linking a few together, knocking off a little bit of slough, which is a little chunky if you look close at it. So this is a little bit wind crusted. There are my buddies waiting for me at a relatively safe zone. There's the pole 5, there's the remote high five to Brian, and we're off again. Snow is feeling pretty good now. This is the forgiving part of the couloir, I guess. Slough is running down the center channel like always, so we turn on either side and ski across it. This is pretty hard work, not helped by the fact that my right boot is not working properly. The locking mechanism is stuck in walking mode. It's either broken or frozen, but I can't really do a whole lot about it right now, except avoid getting into the back seat when I make a turn. Quick look back up the couloir. Settling in for a few more turns, having paused to catch my breath there. I edited that part out. Don't want to admit that I have to stop and catch my breath, even though it's true. Again, big slough train down the center. Pause and let it get ahead of me so I don't have to deal with it. Of course, I do have to deal with it anyway. And this is just a spectacular run. This is a fabulous couloir, classic run, mentioned in Davenport's 50 Classic Ski Runs book. Dawson doesn't quite agree. There's where we came from. He thinks that it would be a true classic if you could ski all the way down and not have to exit onto the apron at the bottom. But we'll deal with that when we have to. A quick pause to let the slot get away from me. This has just enough density to it that the slough train could knock me over if it gets deep enough and I get caught in just a little bit off balance. So here's a nice safe zone underneath a big rock outcrop. Tiptoe over here. Unfortunately, it's not protected in any sense from the wind. But it will have to do for now. So we'll turn around and watch Ben and Brian ski down. There's Ben popping out from behind the wall. And there's that wind I was talking about. Ben's doing some very conservative survival skiing. It's got a good strong jump turn. The advantage of that is you're never facing straight downhill, but on the other hand it's a little hard. Brian's doing a sort of a hybrid jump turn and giant slalom turn. He's a very strong skier. Both these guys are. Not only that, they're a real pleasure to climb with. Very strong crew. We are now pointing out the location of the exit on the right onto the apron, which is the open east face of Holy Cross. If you ski this all the way to the bottom, a little bit below that shelf that I was gesturing to, there's a choke stone, the couloir narrows down, and then there's a cliff. And at the bottom of that, there's trolls and giants and all kinds of unfriendly creatures just waiting to wreak havoc if you get caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. So Brian's going to stop at the exit. Ben's going to ski off after him. And I'm looking forward to getting out of this wind. That'll take a while. You'll see what I mean in a minute or two. Ben skis down, disappears, and it's my turn. Kick the snow off the skis. Flex the knees a little bit. I have a whippet in both hands today. Usually I only carry one. This time I carry two and left my ice axe at the car. That was not by accident, that was planned. So here's the last few turns down the couloir itself. Beautiful rock wall on either side. Little wall of snow right there forming in the wind. And we're off to the races. Good thing on this video you can't hear me breathing hard. This is what I've recorded is a voiceover, of course. Recorded after the fact. I'm not actually narrating while I'm skiing. All you would hear would be heavy breathing if I was trying to do that. There are Ben and Brian standing just above the exit to the right. You can start to see how the couloir chokes down just below this point. And here we get one last obstacle to surmount before we can get out onto the apron. Sneak around below Ben, below Brian. Not sure what Brian's up to there. So we have this little wall to climb to get over onto the open face. You can see if you look a little bit further down, this is basically a cornice, vertical to slightly overhung. Good thing I've got some tools to work with here. Basically we have to get up over it. It's possible to sidestep up it until your waist is about even with the top here, and then you just kind of have to mantle it with your skis on. which is interesting at best. Fortunately, the snow at this point has the consistency of styrofoam, so I can get a pretty good grip in it with the whippet. Stomp and cut some snow out with my ski to get a little purchase. Bring both skis up next to each other, and then just kind of swing your buns over the edge. And there we go. Made it. Turn around and watch Ben climb over the edge. Note that the wind is right in his face at this point, trying to blow him back over. He stopped to switch his poles. He had his whippet in his left hand. He put it in his right so that he could grip the same way that I did and get a little handhold over the top. There he goes. Alley-oop, and he's up. Brian's got a little bit harder task because he's got regular ski poles. He doesn't have a whippet with him. You can see his ice axe on his pack, so I'm going to give him a little hand here. Tiptoe up to the edge and try to avoid getting blown over it myself. And Brian, as soon as you can get one butt cheek over the edge, you're home free. And there you go. And he's over, and he's up. And then here comes one last gust of wind, blowing Brian right over, almost knocking me off my feet. Ben happened to be bending over, dinking with his boots when it hit, so he stayed up, looked graceful, and he's off for the Bowl of Tears, which you can see down at the bottom. That is the end of our ski run for today. Thanks for watching, and hope you had as good of a day today as we did.